Welcome to the iNetrepreneur Radio Show. We are so honored to bring you your host, the ultimate celebritypreneur, connecting businesses and celebrities worldwide. Winner of the Networking Organization of the Year, best-selling author, magazine publisher, trainer, and owner and founder of Network Together and the iNetrepreneur Media Network from magazines, TV, and radio network. We're excited to bring you your host, Mr. Robert W. Jones.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hi. Yes, it's Robert W. Jones, and I'm here on the iNetrepreneur Radio Show, and I'm so glad that each and every one are you with us today. It's been such a crazy last few months, but we are coming to the end of a beautiful, wonderful journey. And that journey is just the start of a whole new journey. And that journey is the 4th volume of the Art of Connection book series. And it's called 365 Days, even though there's 366 days in 2024 of gratitude quotes. And I cannot wait. Oh my goodness, I just cannot wait to get this book in my hands. We have over 330 authors from I don't know how many countries and how many states, but a lot of them. I'll just say a lot of them. And I'm just so excited that we are about ready to have our book launch and our Art of Connection Summit coming up after that. So I'm so excited about that, and the dates will be coming up. I want to go over the book just a little bit. Yes, the #1 international award-winning international best-selling book series, The Art of Connection. Book number 4 is about to book launch. See, I even predated the banners that they created for me. For more information, go to 365daysofgratitudequotes.com. Again, 365daysofgratitudequotes.com. Also, like us, love us, show us your smile. Go to Facebook, go to YouTube, and just give us a like out there, or even bookmark us. I know iNetrepreneur is a hard word to spell, but I'm sure you get it one time and then you bookmark it, you'll never have to worry about spelling it again. Also, subscribe to our magazines. You can go to iNetrepreneur magazine.com or thecontemporarywoman.com. Those are 2 of our magazine lines, and they celebrate individuals and entrepreneurs inside and outside the iNetrepreneur network and Art of Connection communities. Also, go to ntevents.net. That's ntevents.net, where you can sign up. You can find us and register for author classes, our pop-up events, our summits, our chapter events too. And we're really excited here in the Phoenix area. We're going to be opening up Phoenix Central this coming Tuesday. It's Phoenix Central. It's at the Better Business Bureau. We have a partnership with the Better Business Bureau. I'm so excited about what we're doing there. And we have event space. So, you know, who knows? We might be setting up events so our members from all around the country can come out and let's party together. It's so much fun. Also, the Art of Connection book number 5 is going to be starting up, and we're going to be starting that up in March. And so that means for all of those authors out there, and even speakers and other influencers, I believe it's March 6th. It's a Thursday, the first week of March. We're going to start our Author Learn Shop series again. So come learn from some of the most prominent authors and publishers and editors and marketers in the world at our Author Learn Shops. The Author Learn Shop series, it's 1 hour long. You're in, you get done, you get out, but gosh, it's so much fun and I want you there. So, you know, the best is yet to come, and we're going to be doing this with you. But right now, I would love to bring on our first guest. Our first guest is Nefertiti San Miguel. Nefertiti, how are you today?
Aloha from wicked, cold Boston. So great to connect with you.
Well, you know, Nefertiti, you really inspired me because, you know, at one time you said you come from the land of the wicked. And I said, well, here in Phoenix, we like to say that we're from the land of the oven. And even not, I like to say, I just made that up because it sounded good. We're from the land of the oven, but it's not too bad right now. I am an avid gardener, and quite frankly, my Brussels sprouts are looking like little cabbages right now. They're loving the weather so much. I am so glad that you're here today. Again, everyone, I'm with Nefertiti San Miguel. She is the owner and founder of Ikebana and Etnia Fusion. You can contact her at nefertiti.sanmiguel@gmail.com. Again, nefertiti.sanmiguel@gmail.com, or call her at 561 312-6619. She is a joy. She is a treat, but she is not something you give out at Halloween. So, keep her in your heart. She's amazing. Nefertiti, I cannot express I cannot express how much, I just really appreciate your support, your passion, and your love of people, the love of the Art of Connection authors and the community itself. I mean, there is not a time that goes by, and your life is so busy doing so many things. And most often you always say yes. And I really appreciate that you're not one to step out, you're one to step in. And, your time is very valuable, but you always do that for this community, and why is that? Why is this community and the people in it so meaningful to you?
There's so much to be said about that. And I start by living with passion,
Hmm.
leading with love and encouragement. I am world class coming from New England, go team go, type of cheerleader for the world. And I haven't shared this much, but between February 2021 and February 2023, I lost three dear ones due to cancer.
Mm,
And they were each one of them doing amazing things for their world in their own right. And my mantra is I'm living up for four, the three who departed and myself. So I have a duty to pick up a little bit of the slack that they left because they are no longer around, and then my own passion. And life is so short, so fragile. You don't know what happens tomorrow. You don't have a contract saying this is your expiration date. And therefore, I have to make it count right here, right now, and do the very best, not only for myself, but for the people around me. And that's my contribution to better humanity.
and one of the things that I love about, you know, when we start using our gifts and we start working in our passion and we start living our life in such a way where every day becomes more and more meaningful, that it doesn't stay just inside of us. And one of the things I've talked about when it comes to personal development, it really is about self-improvement. But every time that we develop in a personal way, in a beautiful way, we're also becoming personal influencers, and we have the opportunity to influence, the community around us. And that's one of the things that I really love about you, Nefertiti, is you 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 hold those ideals of that personal development influencing, where you show your beauty by, providing a beautiful way of, you know, and I'm going to go into it in Nirvana. And
Yeah.
there's something about Nirvana which, it in itself is an art craft, a very unusual, unknown art craft, especially in the United States. But you're a champion of that, about not only bringing beauty on the inside, but helping us create an environment of beauty as well, don't you?
Yes. And I find sometimes a little bit of a life conundrum how to present it to the public, because while I'm very passionate about it, it's a delicate fine dance how one end influence the other, because if you don't have the beauty to show up to the world,
Mhm.
then everything around you kind of wilted by your crappy presence. It's true fact. And
Mhm.
then if the environment is crappy and it's not conducive, then you are wilting too, from the metaphoric aspect of talking about flowers. And you have to rise that vibration and that awareness even from the both sides, so the scale is in harmony, because one affects the other, and it's a very fine equilibrium to get into that beautiful spot where your
Mhm.
environment is conducive and you are in peace with yourself and everything has no choice but to bloom. And that's my mission, my passion, to share it with the world and see more sane environments from the inside out and from the outside in.
Yeah, and environment is so important to us. I many times I say we can work out, we can eat the right foods, we can do the right things, but if we aren't in harmony, if we're not in balance, if we're not in love with our environment, that can affect us as well. And one thing that I found with Nirvana is that it does create a positive effect because the more I provide, um, how should I say, an investment in my environment, it pays off with me, all around me. I've learned to change, the lighting in my office, and using my salt lamp, and also aromatherapy. I mean, all of these, and even florals, believe it or not, and each one of these impacts me in a positive way, because all of a sudden, I'm a part of beauty, not apart from beauty. And that's a part of what you're talking about, is how we as entrepreneurs and business owners and moms and dads and even kids can be more of a part of a beautiful nature. Wouldn't that be correct?
Yes, and also adding more to the many reasons why I'm so passionate about it, it's a very conducive, friendly, inclusive practice. It can be done anytime, anywhere, by anybody. It
Mhm.
doesn't matter the age, the gender, the cultural background, the financial status. It's very inclusive, and at any stage of your life, you can benefit from the mental health that Neurobana will deliver to you. And it's very heartwarming to have my students come to me and drop off thank you notes, or go to the event host and do raving reviews about what they learn, what they take home, and how those tricks and hacks and knowledge that I share with them so generously is going to stay with them as far as they want to practice it. It doesn't have expiration date, doesn't go away. It's right there with you in your pocket any time that you say, let me center myself, let me decompress from the day, or just extend a little bit of generosity to somebody in your environment. Do a quick floating arrangement, doesn't cost much, and deliver smiles, make you feel good, makes you look like a rock star. And it's just a constant flow of abundance, and you are being also mindful about the resources, and you
and,
are
and
utilizing those
Yeah,
things.
and I love that you said it, because many times we talk about energy. How there is nothing without energy. And many times, even within my network, I say you can have aptitude and you can have attitude, which just makes you a very smart, well-adjusted person. But without energy, without having that appetite for life, not much gets done. And one of the things about neuro and bana, as you put it together as a word, you're talking about a physical, emotional, mental, and even spiritual connection that allows for growth, don't you?
I call it a multisensory experience.
I'll take that, a multi-sensory experience. And for people who may not know what that means, what is a multi-sensory experience?
It's being in the present moment. It's utilizing and being aware of all your senses.
Hmm.
Because when you are practicing Nirvana, you are touching things, you are being creative, you are sparking your imagination, you are making your brain work and have a developed skill on problem solving, believe it or not, because you have to work with the resources, and you have to work with the shape of the material. How you do one thing is how you do everything, and
Hmm.
that's going to evolve into having this keen eye for trimming things, being more minimalistic, arranging in a certain way that is going to be conducive to the surrounding space and whatever else is happening in your environment, as well as you being very quick in your mind in how to address certain things. You get to smell the flowers. You might add some taste to that. For example, I am a big fan of lavender. The lavender You can use it as a stress relief. You can do arrangements. You can do tea with them. You can cook with it. And there's no limits of the creativity that you can put into the resources. And that's the reason why I call it a multisensory experience, because you are utilizing your smell, your
Hmm.
touch, your hearing, because when you are snapping a branch or you are cutting something, you have that information being added to your brain. So there's nothing left out for leisure. You are engaging everything in your body, which it's ideal because what you don't put to work, you lose it. So better stay sharp and put all those different resources, human resources, no pun intended, to your benefit. And that transfer to your relationship, your business, your devotional practice as well. And again, I cannot champion enough about Neurobana, because not only it's inclusive, but you get so much benefit from it in your
Well,
daily life.
and and from, let's say, from an entrepreneurial standpoint, entrepreneurs may be going like, oh, that can't be. That just sounds kind of wacky and woohooey to me. But I have found what it is, we can talk about what it offers, but the return is immense. I found by just like looking at the material that you have, it's helped me with focus, it's helped me with clarity, it's helped me just even being in the moment. And because when you're using your hands and your mind, and you're looking at your environment, and this is even in my gardening, it's making me aware of things that I hadn't been aware of before. And that can't help but me actually make me a better listener, a better provider, a better thinker, a better person, because all of a sudden I'm stretching like these skill sets that, even though I'm not working on someone within my business, it transfers all this effort that I put over here transfers over to all the effort that I put into my business or into my marriage or into my kids. And that's what's so really incredible. I know I get so excited about it, right? And that's what I think it's so credible about it, because in many ways, Nefertiti, it really is like it's bringing back, and providing a found, how should I say it, it's kind of bringing back the foundation of who we are all as humans, that we are a part of an ecosystem, we're a part of the earth, and we're a part of everything around us. And I really think Nirvana actually kind of reminds us of that, doesn't it?
Yes, I am very intentional about that. And also, I take it upon myself to bridge the gap, because so many times, in example, you are studying behavioral neuroscience, it's very direct with information, how you apply it to your brain, and stays there. Then if you're studying floral design, Japanese style, Ikebana, it teaches you the technique, the angles, how to trim the flowers, how to condition the flowers, but nobody have taken it upon themselves to bridge the gap and say, well,
Hmm.
the reason why this is so therapeutic is because your brain functions this way. And the reason why your brain is developing in such amazing way is because you are facilitating that process by being hands-on and allowing yourself to be experimental and foster your inner child. And there's
Yeah.
so much richness and benefits to the whole thing, because also what you don't express, you suppress, repress, or oppress, and then that turns into depression.
Yeah.
And depression is the current societal cancer. That's
Yeah.
my
I
statement.
and here's another way to look at it, because sometimes it just gets so massive for me, and I'm like, what is she talking about? But I try to tell people, when I tell people about you, I said the brain is very similar to the muscles in your body. And what happens sometimes with our brain is we start becoming more and more linear with everything we do. And that's kind of like akin to working out. I have two arms, and if I only work out with my right arm and I never work out with my left arm, what happens? I become out of balance. I become out of harmony. I'm overstrong here, and I'm not strong enough over there, and all of a sudden, what happens? Well, I become less efficient. I lack some of the stamina and effort that I could if I was whole. And I think that Neuribana helps that with the like even the neurons that are in the mind, because it stretches us out a little bit, and it helps expand the processing power of the brain, like being able to use both arms and having strength in all facets of our physical nature. I mean, would you agree with that, or am I butchering that a little bit?
No, you are right on point, and I love your passion and how you are approaching it, because that's the right way to do it, and it becomes a lifestyle, and
Mm-hmm.
that's my ultimate goal. When I share my passion with my students, if you are just taking another class, it's kind of edutainment. There's nothing wrong with that. Something better like nothing. But by you practicing on the daily basis,
Right.
make it a lifestyle, you breathe it, you excel it, then it becomes second nature. And whatever comes in front of you, your brain and your mind, it's prime to
Mm-hmm.
execute based on resources. You are not like, oh my God, I don't have roses. What I'm gonna do? Well, use dandelions. They are just as beautiful. They bring a different flavor to the arrangement. And that transfer to your resources with your business, with your connections, your possibilities. And you no longer have a closed mind, because you are seeing beyond the possibilities. You are creating the possibilities. Because when you create possibilities in an art form and you practice it, you reflect that into everything else that you do. And you can be very generous with your resources and treat your VIPs and become memorable. And then that fosters more referrals, that fosters more generosity being
Mm-hmm.
shown around. Also is going to show appreciation, and it doesn't cost a whole lot. That's the other thing that is so precious about it.
And I'll tell you something interesting. I really, in my life, I've learned quite a few different type of modalities to help me keep healthy, and to help me keep aware, and to keep me fit, let's say, from the mind and the body, my heart, my soul. I mean, me, my group is all about bringing heart-centered, like-minded business people together, so we can live in a place of love. And so many times, if you're on the outside, you don't understand that, but it's almost like once you start understanding it, and you're around the people, you can start accelerating your life so much faster. So here is something I've never did, and this is where it's even affected me over time. And so I'm letting everyone out there in radio land know that this Valentine's Day is the first day I ever created my own arrangement. I put it together, and I actually delivered it to my wife's place of work. And I'm 59 years old, Nefertiti, and I have never done that before. But let me tell you something. I love my garden. I take care of the plants in the house and in the environment. But it was the first time I ever actually started taking it to levels that I've never done before. And it was like the building of it, it was the transportation of it, and then it was the reception of it, and then the whole floor. All the ladies said to Sean, they're like, "Oh, we need a Robert, and we want a Robert too." And so I know, and I kid you not, if it hasn't been for our conversations all this time, um, you provided me with a certain amount of meaningfulness, of doing things that I've never done. And I know I'm talking a lot, and I'm so sorry, but I just wanted you to know this. And this, men out there, this is so much. We can be mindful and we can have meaningful thoughts, but the best thing of all is being thoughtful, because thoughtful takes mindfulness and it creates the actions from it. And so it's like, I could think about getting the flowers together, and I could think about how cool it would be to take it over to work, and I could think about, what's it like to be the delivery guy, right? But I did more than that. you know I did more than that. I put it together, I transported it, and I delivered it. And that to me is now something I never had in my life. And what did it do? See, it left a vibrational imprint on my life and everyone around me. And that really, it might be trite, but to me, that really is what Neurobana is about. Being able to expand your world just a little bit through the providing of beauty for self and others.
Yes. And also the beauty of it is that you don't have to go to a fancy vendor and get the most expensive material. You can pick something from the backyard, you can pick something from the garden, you can do a beautiful arrangement out of nothing. And that's also one thing that I take pride in teaching.
Hmm.
It's to show what is possible. I call them prompts. I have about 100 different prompts to make people think. I have a class and it can be 12 people in the class. They can have the same material or different, and you will see the personality of each one and where their mind was reflected in that arrangement. And
Oh,
it's so beautiful. It's so personalized and so creative. And that's part of the art form. And then you are expressing that and you are extending that to the people in your environment, even if, for example, you make a floating arrangement for your dining table and you have somebody coming over for dinner. Well, they are not necessarily the recipient of the flowers, but they are secondhand enjoying
yep.
the beauty of your creation. And it's always the talk of the town. There's always conversation to be shared out of flowers. And for so many people, it's either taboo or vanity or luxury. And I'm here to break down the news that no, people, you need to get your act straight and
Yeah.
have a better outlook in life, because you are really missing out.
Yeah, and you are, and things manifest. And one of the things I'm so proud, you created a picture, and it was of a vase, and it had florals in it, and you gifted that to Sean and I. And I love it. Do you remember? And what's so amazing? Here's something so amazing. So every morning, to be good partners, Sean and I, we call it coffee time. We're always like, let's do coffee time. It's coffee time. So we sit down. I grind up the coffee, which now I enjoy. I used to hate grinding up coffee, but now I love grinding up the coffee because it's like a part of the process, right? It's the part
It's
of the
a
process.
ritual.
It is. It's a ritual. And so I was sitting there, and I'm getting goosebumps on it. I saw the picture on the wall because we have it hanging in our kitchen, so we can see it all the time. And all
And
of a
there are
sudden,
some flowers, just saying.
they are. And you know what happened? I was sitting there, and one day I looked at the wall, and I looked at the flowers that I brought home, and I looked at the wall at the picture there, and I looked at the flowers I brought home. Did you know it was exactly the same?
Because your brain is absorbing what is in the surrounding. And
Yeah.
thank you so much for bringing the observation so people can have an idea of how impactful and how powerful your
Mhm.
surroundings are. You are not aware of it, but your brain is picking it 24/7, 366, including the leap year. And
Right.
when people fall asleep listening to the crappy news, no wonder why you are depressed and you have health issues. You are absorbing all that negativity overnight. That's the worst thing that you can do for yourself. And
I
that's the reason why I put the flowers and I give flowers, because I know the power of the mind, even if the person is not aware of it. I am doing the magic behind the scenes because I know what I'm doing and the power of Neurobana. So that's my gift for the world.
And it is amazing because the very thing that was coming into my mind, I manifested, and it was amazing. I should have taken a picture of the tube because there it was. I couldn't believe that I saw both. We're at the end of our segment. Doesn't it, the time go by so fast when we're
It
just talking
flies.
about what we love? It flies.
Yes.
You know, but the upcoming book number
Yes.
4, and I wanted to share the quote that you have in it. And your quote is, bountiful living is an art, a science, and a choice available to all of us anytime, anywhere, and every day. And you have here, when you do more of what you love and less of what you tolerate and none of what you hate, the concepts of success and wealth get reframed, priorities restructured, happiness packaged differently. And that's a part of the thought of this page. You know, I'm honored that you are a part of this book series, Nefertiti, because, what you offer is something that's radically amazing. And, I am here to be one of your evangelists because I know with the other modalities that I have implemented in my life, it is one that brings me, but even more importantly, those around me, a whole nother sense of beauty. And so, before you go, tell us how can we get a hold of you? I'll put the ticker back up here. And what are some of the best ways to get a hold of you? And what are some of the things that you can do, like as a service for others?
I'm going to keep it simple because the brain doesn't like to think. So, one and one only. I am old fashioned in the sense that I like communication to be warm, one on one. A text or a phone call, it delights me. I'm kind of burnt out with email and everything in that form of communication. So much
Hmm.
it gets lost.
Right.
So give me a call, send me a text, let's pick up the phone and connect. That's the best thing that we can do for each other. And what I can do for others, bring you inner peace. And there's no price tag for such a thing. Your
I
life is going to bloom at a level that you never thought possible. Whether it's a one on one coaching program or it's a one time workshop, we can do this is something that I want to implement more for this year. Do virtual floral parties, which I have done in the past, but I want to do more of them. So you can do a one on one party with me, keep it very social and interactive. Put together a couple of your friends. Let's do a Zoom call and have a blast and get into details about what Neurobana is and the magic that it can do for you.
Well, I'm already feeling the Art of Connection, a Nirobana party coming up really quickly in our near future. Again, everyone, I'm with Nefertiti San Miguel. She's the owner and founder of Nirobana and Etnia Fusion. Contact her at nefertiti.sanmiguel at gmail.com, or better yet, call her or text her at 561-312-6619. Again, that's 561-312-6619. Nefertiti, thank you so much for being on the show today. It is always a pleasure to get to be able to speak with you.
Sending you much love and appreciation from the land of the wicked, awesome people. Boston.
Woohoo!
Go, team, go.
Go, team, go. Wow. Again, I was with good friend from the land of the wicked, Nefertiti San Miguel of Etnia Fusion in Neurobana. I mean, how amazing is that? I mean, it's so great to be able to have good friends come on the show that are doing great things. And speaking of a new good friend in my life who is doing amazing things, great things, super things as well, is, like I said, my new friend and I Connect ambassador, SueZee Finley. Hi, SueZee.
Robin, thank you so much for having me here. And I have to start with a shout out to Nefertiti because she is the reason that I'm here and that I met you. So I am forever grateful. So Nefertiti, thank you.
Yeah, and that sometimes is what it takes. That, people always talk about networking. Oh, it doesn't work, and networking, it's takes too much time, and networking, it's so laborious. And I tell people, I said, no, that's what you call bad networking. If it's good networking, you meet great people, and if it's good networking, it helps you get energy, and if it's good networking, it creates the power of connections. And to me, there is nothing greater than the gift of opportunity and the power of connections.
And that's exactly how I feel about being part of your group, because when Nefertiti first asked me, and I knew there was a weekly meeting, I'm like, I don't have any time. I missed the first couple. And then I went and I'm like, oh my God, it's the best experience ever. You have the most amazing people on. I love everybody. I actually rearranged my schedule now so that I can make sure that no matter what's going on, I get into your meeting. I'm always there. I'm so
I
happy about it.
Well, and it's really it's crazy because I always say, just like a person has a personality, every room of people has a personality. And if one of the people aren't there, especially your regulars, it's like part of the personality is gone. It's like, wait a minute, what happened to our personality? We're missing a whole silo of personality. It's like, SueZee, where are you? Come back. you know, and that's what I love. And I tell people this too. It's like the most powerful thing to me as I've gotten older. The most powerful thing to me is my energy. It's my energy.
Yes.
And do I love building my business? Do I love becoming profitable? Do I love that I can provide for my family? Absolutely. But you know what? And this is what entrepreneurs fail to understand. They fail to understand, if they're not constantly feeding themselves with good energy,
Right.
they fall into the trap of no care. I mean, let's not even talk about a minimalist bit of any care. They fall in the trap because without the energy, even the best of health fails, because everything takes energy. And great people doing great things is a great place to start, with energizing yourself and all those around you each and every week. Everyone, I'm with SueZee Finley. She's owner and founder of Acoustic Therapeutix. See, it's kind of a rhyme. It's like Acoustic Therapeutix. Yeah, come on, rock it. You can contact her at acoustictherapeutix@gmail.com, or call her up 631-988 0613. Again, you can call her or maybe even text her at 631-988-0613. And SueZee, I'm so happy for you to be on the show today. So you don't live in the land of the wicked, but you live pretty close there. Aren't you up in New York? Is that right?
Look, I'm going to say land of the best pizza and bagels.
Give me some pizza and bagels, people.
Italian cookies.
Right. And that is it. And is that upstate New York, or is that
Long Island, New York.
Long Island, New York? And so
accent comes from.
So Long Islanders, I don't know, is that what you call, is that what you call yourselves, Long Islanders?
Yeah.
So so Long Islanders, they actually have their own accent. So it's not like Queens or the Bronx or Manhattan, or the other boroughs there. You have your own kind of dialect. Is that correct?
It's kind of, yeah. Because people are like, where are you from?
They're like, they said that men are from Mars and or what is it? Men are from Mars and women are from Venus, and SueZee is from Long Island. So we had to create a third place for you. I'm glad you were here, and you were in the green room, and you were able to listen to Nefertiti San Miguel for quite a while.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing modality that she has that can really enhance your life. along with that, there's another space, and I think it's like one of the most powerful spaces that we know, and that is the space of vibrational sound. And over the years, there's always been this debate on, what is it that makes up the universe? What is it in the smallest little atoms, and even smaller in the quarks and the theory? And now we're getting to this point to where we've reached in science that everything is vibrational, down to what they even call string theory. And it really is amazing to me, SueZee, because you're the founder of Acoustic Therapeutix. And so, in a way, what you're doing is you're taking the science and the art of the universe, and you're helping change people's lives. Would that be a good statement?
Yes, I love that. Perfect.
And so for those of us that don't know what sound therapy is certain sets of instruments and intonations and durations and frequencies during time, isn't it?
Yes. Well, the cool thing is I didn't even know what sound therapy was till I was sick. And I had lupus, and the doctors kept telling me, well, every time I went in with something, it's a lupus thing. It's a lupus thing. And you're going to have to get used to it. And the hardest thing for me was before lupus, I had tons of energy. I was called the little Energizer Bunny. But when you have lupus, it's like someone like literally rips your batteries out. I had no energy. I wasn't used to that. I didn't like my life. I had like 3 hours of energy a day. And the doctor's like, well, it's a lupus thing. You got to get used to it. And I'm like, no, I got to find something. And by accident, I was at it was a health convention, and I started to have one of my lupus flares. I was about to pass out. It's like, you could be fine, having a good time with lupus. All of a sudden, it is like someone reaches in and pulls out your battery pack, and you're like, you're about to pass out. And I'm like, oh no, what am I going to do? And there was a guy in the back. He had a massage table and a little computer in front of it. And I had no idea what he was doing. And I'm like, you know what? I don't care what that guy's doing. I got to get over to that table. I need to lay down. And when I got there, he told me this is an acoustic sound table. He goes, I'm going to take a reading of your voice. Your voice is the composite of all the frequencies in your body. And whatever you're missing, I can put that frequency back into your body. Frequencies are nutrients. And I lay down on that table. And within 20 minutes, I felt completely restored. I got up. My brain fog was gone. My energy was back. And I'm like, I need to know everything there is about this. And at that point, I thought that sound therapy was just all this equipment. And I went out at a life insurance policy. I cashed my life insurance policy in. I bought all this equipment. And I thought that was like the main thing. I just figured I got to get everybody on this table. But it was hard because I had to bring people in. Then I signed up for a sound therapy class. And after I spent all this money on my equipment, the teacher came in and she goes, of all the things in your sound healing toolkit, your voice is the most important. And I was like, couldn't someone have told me that $30,000 or $40,000 ago?
Oh no.
That was so good.
Oh my gosh.
Now I'm like on a mission. I'm like, oh my God, sound therapy is accessible to everybody because you can do something as simple as just hum and it resets your frequency. And it's for everybody, no matter where you are. You can start with humming, you can start with toning. You can I love tuning forks. With tuning forks, I tell people like training wheels because it teaches you how to hum. And you can go as low tech or high tech as you want, but you can do everything with just your voice and moving your body. So it's like, I want everyone to do this. It's like, if everybody did this and we grew up like learning these things, as a matter of fact, we know these things when we're little. Like when you're a little kid, I mean, we all remember like coloring, you'd be coloring in school and you'd be humming and the teacher would come by and say, don't hum, you're making too much noise. Well, when you're humming, you're really self-regulating yourself. And these are all the things we intuitively knew, but it was shut out. So now I'm on a mission to tell everybody, get back to being 5.
Yeah.
You know what to do then.
Well, you brought up an interesting concept, and I didn't want to forget it, so I wrote it down. And I wrote that he stated to you, and you now know as well, that frequencies are nutrients.
Yes.
And that's fairly interesting to me. And by hearing the sound of your voice, I can help you restore some of the frequencies that you should have. I mean, for someone who's, including me, I've never heard that statement before. What is it exactly does that mean when you look at these frequencies as nutrients to our health?
Oh, okay. So what the test shows is it actually graphs out your voice into notes. And some of
Mhm.
us might be like low in the note of C or low in the note of F. And when your body is out of balance, it's imagine like an orchestra, right? And the orchestra is playing, but all of a sudden the violin goes off. It messes up the whole orchestra. And it's the same thing with your body. If one of your frequencies is off, it messes up your whole vibe. And it's kind of like the main purpose is you want to be able to have like frequencies go through you like a wave. And every time you get tense, it's like I wish I could do a demo. There's a way to demo this, which looks really easy. It's like you have a massage table with a sheet on it, and
Mhm.
you want the waves to flow through your body. So if you go like this with the sheet, you would see like imagine like when you make your bed, you see the sheet go like that. But if you
Yeah.
take a rock and you stick it on the sheet, and then you go like that, the wave doesn't flow, and that's what tension is when you get nervous. And this is something I love. I have a
So
amazing.
so it's like a blockage of the frequency
Right. So it's
in a
like
way.
anytime you get tense, so you tense up your muscles, it stops that wave from going through. So
Mm.
to feel like free and more energized, you need to get those frequencies moving. And that's what sound does. And it happens instantly. And the best example I can give of this is Dr. John Bouillot. He's the one that actually came up with the whole concept. He calls it human tuning. And he was a science. He was a he still is. He's a psychiatrist. He's a naturopathic doctor, and he's a musician. And he was working in his lab back in like the 60s. And he was in what they call an anechoic chamber, and that's a chamber without sound. And he used to go into the chamber and listen to the sounds of his nervous system because that's the only place you can hear it. He could hear his heartbeat. He could hear the nervous system has this hum. And this one day, and he would take notes and write everything down every day. This one day on the way to work, he got into a quarrel with someone at a ticket booth. And he gets into the anechoic chamber after the quarrel, and his nervous system was like, it was screaming. And he's like,
Mm.
oh my God. And he was very intuitive, and he's also a musician. He had a feeling to go next door to the music store and get tuning forks. And he literally went back into the anechoic chamber, and his system was screaming. And he literally went like this. He held them up for, he said, about 10 seconds. And his nervous system went from screaming to it went into it had gotten trained by the tuning forks. It calmed down. His shoulders had been up by his ears. His shoulders relaxed. He said it was like he got a chiropractic adjustment and his whole nervous system calmed down. And we all walk around like this, all the time. And something as simple, and again, if you don't have tuning forks, you can hum and it does the same thing. And this is why I'm so passionate about it, because we walk around all the time. Like you could be in traffic, right? And someone beeps the horn at you and you go like this, right? And you're like, and you walk around like that the whole day. And the cool thing, and I love he said this too. This is Dr. John Bouillot. I love him. He goes, so instead of walking around like this all day when someone beats the horn, he goes, you take a deep breath, and he goes, and you honk back, not with your horn, you go with your voice, honk. And it literally gets that energy out, and your shoulders relax, and you get that out of your system. So it's all about getting that wave to come back through your body and being able to flow.
Well, and so it's really interesting because my older son, he's really smart kid. He comes up with such amazing things, but in a way he's always a little bit off balance, and he emotionally he kind of skyrockets up and down, and it's a place where he's working on. But he's started kind of wanting. He saw this thing called the ton drum. And he's like, I need to have a ton drum, Dad. I want to get a ton drum. And so he uses the ton drum, and he hits it, and different tones come out of it. And it's really interesting because now that you're saying that, I think in a way it's a way of soothing him. And here is something that's really interesting that you just brought up that he never used to do. So now I'm starting to see him hum.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's almost like you talked about kids, and here he is. He's like, somehow he, because I don't think he was taught that, and here he is. He's not fighting it. He's like using the ton drum. He's making this sound, and now he's humming. And in a way that humming is really, I don't know if you call it self-soothing or whatever it is, or he's recalibrating or something like that.
Helping
And
me.
and you know what's so crazy about that? I not all the time, but I do go, Troy, please stop. And, and here it's like, and so maybe what I need to do is and say, Troy, please start.
Oh, that it is the best thing for him. Let him keep going, especially that he's
Yeah.
it is self-soothing, and they found that like this is so good for. I wish I had this. My mom had dementia. I didn't know about this back then, but it would have helped my mom with dementia. It works really good with autistic children, and I tell people too.
He's slightly autistic too. He's slightly autistic and he has ADHD, and I noticed that it grounds him, SueZee.
Yes.
It grounds him.
Yes. Have him get just C&G. I'll let you know these are C&G tuning forks, and that will help ground him, and it will help him with I pretty much have ADD. I'm all over the place. So if I don't do this, if ever you catch me, I'm all over the place because I didn't do this yet. And the thing that's good is like people. It's not like, and this way again, it's a practice. You have to do this every day. It's not like you're gonna walk around perfect every day. That would be boring. You need to mix it up. So you have to get used to being a little bit crazy and then snapping back. And the whole point of the practice is that you get quicker and quicker at snapping back. So if something happens, you're in a, you fight with somebody. Now, some people hold on to a grudge. I'm Sicilian Italian. We have feuds that have been going on like 30, 40 years,
Right.
I don't want to be part of that. And I always used to get yelled at because I remember being a little kid and my mother would have a fight with an aunt and be like, you snub her. And I can never do that. I'd be like, oh, hi. And like, don't you supposed to snub her? But they're, I guess it's in our culture. Sicilian Italians, like they hold on to it. They want to hate. You got to let this stuff go. And what sound therapy does, it helps you move through things faster and you can snap back. And like, that's the whole key, self-regulation. And that's why I wish like parents were taught this so they could get their kids started at birth. I wish they taught it in schools. Everybody should be doing this, and then everybody would be happier. And it's contagious because if one person is vibrating at a happy frequency, it can affect the whole room. Just like someone in a bad mood can change the energy.
Well, and I can see this helping entrepreneurs and business owners. A sale doesn't go through, or they had a client conflict and they're trying to get it. And one of the worst things you can do is, stay in that mode because it can actually affect the rest of your day, your productivity, your other relationships. You start to carry that with you. And what you're saying is this could be very helpful for entrepreneurs who are in even in a high pressure type of business.
Exactly. Especially the biggest thing now, everyone's teaching talking from stage and how, it's very important to get up there and either be speaking on video or talking on a stage. And I have a friend that I actually partner with, Jessica York, and she teaches people how to get up, and she used to teach actresses and stuff too. And what would happen, she said, I wish we had like you in the back somewhere, because a actress would be talking and then they'd mess up a line. And if the director's like, they're gonna screw me up, I got to get home, that energy will be passed on to the actress because she'd be upset that the director's mad and she's flubbing the lines. She said, if you were there, you could have done the tuning forks and cleared it. Everybody could have gone home early. But it's like that simple. If you can learn to clear, you'll be more productive, because you're not going to hold on to, somebody screwing up an email or, somebody breaking something in the office. You can get through it quick and snap back and get more focus.
Being that sound is energy and it affects us so much, and it can even repair us. I mean, are there other sounds that we could have, just like we have diffusers in the house, or just like I might sit down and have meditation or work out, and there's certain resets in these different areas, like a gray sound or white sound, or however, are there sounds that we can have, let's say, in our environment that kind of modulate us a little bit as well?
Well, everybody's different, but the one thing that I love with the tuning forks, that's what I love too. Again, I'm always I love Dr. John Boyard because he's
right.
He invented all the stuff. So he always says use the C and G tuning forks, because these two tuning forks, actually one tuning fork, has like 50 different sounds in it. So when you're hitting these, the overtones ring all the tones, and these like perfect for everybody. But as far as like regular sounds, like in the home, certain music, everybody's got different taste in music that makes them feel better. So that's like the test I have really helps, because it'll tell you what notes you like. But the way to figure it out is if you're in a room and you hear certain music, if you feel energized from it and happy, you know, that's for you. If you go in, like sometimes either people love heavy metal because it energizes them. They've actually found it's actually good for the blood because it pumps everything. But some people don't. So if you go in, it's like, oh, it's too agitating. You know, I don't like it. The other thing that I'm very unpopular for saying, people get very mad at me, but Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is not, like I tell people, you have to shut your Wi-Fi at least at night. Wi-Fi is very disruptive to your system. It's like,
Really?
yeah, because we don't feel it because our bodies are not equipped to pick up on that vibration because we're like 7.83 hertz is like the Schumann resonance, which is what the earth is. We're up into the billions now with the hertz of the frequencies. And it's like little jackhammers on our cells. And it's very, I don't know if do I have time to tell? Oh, I might not have time for this story. I'll tell you another time. But my mother had dementia and she couldn't sleep. And when I got rid of all the Wi-Fi and everything, she was slept like amazing. So
Interesting. So Wi-Fi actually adds to our disease.
Stress, yes.
That stresses us, because stress to me is a curable disease. You know, in a way, because I always say it's not like a disease like, okay, chronic, but it's like dis-ease. It's
Yes.
still a disease in a certain sense, and Wi-Fi is something that is additive to our discomfort, and that discomfort affects us pretty much 24/7. And really, in what you're saying is we have to have an off button for that.
Have to have an off button, and that's why also tuning yourself. And so if you're at a really good vibration yourself, you're going to be able to withstand it, you know, somewhat. But and we can't control it outside, but at the very least at home, shut it at night when you go to sleep, because when you sleep at night, that's when your body's repairing. And the Wi-Fi keeps, they call it, like this scientist, Magda Haber, she calls it rapid aging syndrome, because it makes it harder for your cells to repair because they're repelling the Wi-Fi instead of resting and repairing. You know, so get rid of it at night, and you can just hook it up. Like you put on a power strip and just shut the power strip. And I have my computer hardwired because I don't even want to use the Wi-Fi in the house, but a lot of people don't want to do that, but you can shut it at night. And they do have a modem that I just found, because I've been trying to look for people that refuse to do it. There's a new modem out that shuts itself off when you're not using it, so you don't even have to remember.
Oh, that's, yeah.
People about
I like that. Well, you know, SueZee, you're also in the book, The Art of Connection, and I wanted to do this, offer the same for you. In your book, one of your quotes is, you know, when we can express gratitude even in our darkest moments, it will bring us back to light. It will bring us back to the light. And in a way, that's what the tuning forks do. You know, if you're getting placed into that darkness, these tuning forks can bring you back. And I love what you say here. It says gratitude is my strength, and I realize now that it's what's got me through my darkest hour. It is my superpower and my light. And so I just want to thank you so much for being in the book, The Art of Connection, and being here today. I am with SueZee Finley. She is the owner and founder of Acoustic Therapeutix. See, I love that right there. Contact her at acoustictherapeutix@gmail.com, or you can call or text her 631-988-0613. Again, that's 631-988-0613. SueZee, is there any other way that our audience can get in touch with you?
Yeah, actually, because I don't like keeping up with social media as much as I should. So I'm creating a free class. It's going to be every Tuesday starting the second week in March, called Tune 'em Up Tuesday. It's going to be 30 minutes where I'm going to tune people. And then
oh my gosh,
ask questions and get a free tune up and learn more about what I do. And it's the easiest way to connect with me, because I get overwhelmed with emails and Facebook stuff. I can't keep up. But if you just want to meet me, show up to the class and join. I have a Facebook group called SueZee's Happiness Hive. And that's where I'm going to tune people so that they'll be happy.
Oh my goodness. So tune up with SueZee and bring your tuning fork. I love it. Well, SueZee, thank you so much for being on the iNetrepreneur Network show today. And, you know, we all have things to do and places to go, but you took this time and space and place to do it with us. And I want to say thank you so much for that.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. And I love everything you're doing, and I love your book, and I'm so happy to be part of this amazing community.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, what an amazing show today. Two wonderful people who are creating beauty in this crazy thing called life. And I'm so honored for them to be here on the show today. Now remember, this show resonates or Wi-Fi's, or however we're going to call it, amplifies out of Phoenix, Arizona. And yes, we are that crazy state. Right now, we're on Mountain Standard Time, and we come on each week right now, not always, from 2:30 to 3:30 Mountain Standard Time. I am so glad that you were able to share this time with us. You guys, make it a great week. And, don't forget, sound and flowers. What a great combination. Sounds like a good date night tonight. So go out there and have some fun, everyone. Again, I'm Robert Jones with the iNetrepreneur Network, and I'm glad you spent this time with us.
You've been watching the iNetrepreneur Show, a production of the iNetrepreneur Radio Network with host Robert W. Jones. Join Robert each week as he visits with new and exciting guests who inspire, teach, and mentor entrepreneurs worldwide. Follow Robert each Thursday at 1:30 p.m. Pacific, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, and 8:30 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time.